Sunderland will stay up in the Premier League next season. I truly do believe this. Against what a lot of people think right now, I believe that Sunderland will break the curse of 3 teams going back down that were promoted the season before. It's happened the last 2 seasons. I don't think it's going to happen this season because I think Sunderland are the outlier. And I'm going to explain in this video the reasons why I believe Sunderland are the outlier from the rest of the teams that have been promoted from the Championship. And obviously, it has to do with spending. There is a lot of money which Sunderland have spent so far in the transfer window, but we're going to go through all of those reasons. Just before I get into them, if you do enjoy my content, make sure you hit the subscribe button and you also hit the like button so it boosts the content in the algorithm. But nevertheless, let's get into it. And the reason why I believe that Sunderland will be safe next season, and I actually hold the opinion that I actually think there's a good chance that Sunderland are not just safe next season, but comfortably surviving the drop. The reason why I say that is because, first of all, the transfer strategy. The transfer strategy so far for Sunderland has been exemplary. I have been very impressed. Obviously, there's been a lot of money that's been spent. That is always going to happen when you bring in so many players. But I really like the profile of players in which they have been going for. You look at a lot of the players they've brought in, they're young, they're hungry, they've got really good athleticism, which is very important for the Premier League, and they massively upgrade the quality within the squad. And when you look at the players that they've also brought in alongside that to be able to help, guide those players throughout the season, we've just seen Sunderland sign Granit Xhaka from Bayer Leverkusen. That, if it hasn't already opened up your eyes this season, this window, from the amount of spending that Sunderland have done, the signing of Granit Xhaka really should have opened your eyes just to what Sunderland are actually going for in this next season. And not only Granit Xhaka, we also brought in Ronaldo from Atletico Madrid, a left back who has plenty of experience, not only at top level in La Liga, but also in the Champions League. He is going to be able to be a massive part of the squad next season in terms of experience. But not just that, you look at the younger players in the squad. Diarra, he has got loads of experience at top level football. He's been playing in Liga for the last couple of seasons. And on top of that as well, he's also been playing in the national team. He recently scored against England in an international friendly. And he is a player that has a very bright future ahead of him. Adingra, a player that has been at Premier League level for a few seasons now. And yes, he's never really set the world alight at Brighton, but we've all seen the talent that he has. And at the Africa Cup of Nations, he was absolutely mesmerizing at times. So he is a player with a bunch of ability with game time. He could really flourish at Sunderland. And then, of course, there's Enzo Lefebvre as well, who spent the second half of the season at Sunderland in the Championship last season and proved in that time that he was a cut above the Championship. He's obviously played in Liga for countless amounts of seasons and as well was also a part of the Roma side for half of the season. Didn't go the way that he expected, but he is clearly at the level of a Premier League footballer. That's another really good signing that we've brought in with experience at top level football. And then of course you've got players like Taubi Siddiqui, who we signed, 2 players that haven't been operating at the top level of football. We can't say that there's any evidence of that, but alongside obviously the level of quality we've also brought in alongside them, being 2 players who have got a decent amount of hype around them, they're 2 young players with promising futures ahead of them, I think that will really help them bed into the squad really well across the season. And then of course there's the Dutch international goalkeeper, which Sunderland signed as well today for 14.5 million euros. Roelofs, I mean, look, I'm not going to pretend like I've, heard of him before or watched him play before. I have not. However, he kept 10 cleats in the Eredivisie last season. He's the under-21 Netherlands goalkeeper. And ultimately, I think that he has got a real potential to be a good player going forward. Obviously, we do not know 100%. We can only see when he comes through the door. But from all the statistics I'm reading, from everything that I've seen about him, he is a goalkeeper that has a really promising future ahead of him. And I think that he might be capable of playing at Premier League level. And certainly, obviously, the club believe that as well. So that is another promising signing for next season. And then, of course, as I already mentioned, Granit Xhaka is the big one. I mean, the amount of experience that he's had at top level football, playing obviously for like 7 seasons at Arsenal, moving to Bayer Leverkusen, having those 2 incredible seasons at Bayer Leverkusen, being a part of the team that did a domestic unbeaten season and was 1 game away from winning the treble that season. Granit Xhaka was a very important part of that side, and obviously Bayer Leverkusen went on to finish second in the Bundesliga last season with, again, Granit Xhaka being a very important part of that side, setting the tempo in midfield. A pass master, can also score an absolute banger from range. He's got so much in his locker, and the leadership as well, which he will offer to this Sunderland squad. I mean, that signing is just, it's an absolute gem. How we've managed to pull off Granit Xhaka, it blows my mind. But obviously, there are people that still do not believe in the Sunderland project so far. Obviously, there will be signings still to come, which is very exciting as well. I'm obviously happy enough with all the signings that have already been made. But there obviously will be more to come. But there is an argument that a lot of people are currently making at the moment, which is just because you spend a lot of money on a lot of players, and young players at that as well, it doesn't mean that they're going to succeed in the Premier League. It could go wrong, and you could be left in a situation next season where you've bought a bunch of players that devalue, and you're going into the Championship with high wages, etc., etc., all of that type of argument. Personally, for me, I do not see it that way personally, because first of all, you're buying a lot of young players. Sure, a player like Granit Xhaka, he will lose value. He's on high wages, etc., etc. But when you come to the players with younger age ranges, they will be able to retain their value. So I don't think that's a problem. Second of all, I think personally, this is the way you stay up in the Premier League. We've seen over the last few seasons, playing it safe is not the way to stay up in the Premier League. The last team that made a fist of it, especially also coming from the same position as Sunderland coming up through the Championship playoffs, was Nottingham Forest. I believe they signed 22 players in the summer in which they got promoted. Now, it worked out for them, only just worked out for them, but it worked out for them. And I think that Sunderland are following a similar blueprint to Nottingham Forest, not exactly the same way you're just signing 22 players, an entire new squad worth of players, but an entire new 11 worth of players, adding that quality into the squad, spending a lot of money, but on different players that are going to add different stuff to your team, upgrade the quality within the squad. There's not been a team that are doing what Sunderland have done since Nottingham Forest, and they are the last team to get promoted or stay promoted in the Premier League the season after that they actually got promoted. So personally for me, I think you need to take a risk. I think Nottingham Forest have shown the blueprint of how to stay up in the modern day Premier League if you are a Championship club. I fear, actually, for Leeds and Burnley because of the lack of business that they've done so far. For Sunderland, I'm a lot more optimistic, and yeah, I'm really excited for the new season. I think that Sunderland could really shock a lot of people. And another factor I actually think people are missing out on is the manager that Sunderland have. I think a big thing about getting promoted to the Premier League is dependent on the style of football in which your manager wants to play in the upcoming season. Regis Labrie will be playing, I can already tell you now, a very conservative style of football. He's not going to go out there, try and split the centre halves, push everyone up the field and go for it, attack teams, try and make a fist of it. He is going to play conservative. He's going to play with a lot of men behind the ball, defensively responsible and counter-attacking football. That is how we're going to play next season. And with the players that we've got in this team, I mean, we could be a deadly team on the counter-attack. You know, already last season, Wilson Isidore and Eliza Mayenda proved to be a real handful for teams in transitions. Obviously, the quality of teams are going to upgrade in the Premier League very considerably, but we've obviously got now bolstered attacking options. Adingra, a quick player who can run in behind, who's got the ability to beat a man. These are all qualities which I think will serve Sunderland really well next season, trying to play on that that counter-attacking style of football. I think that that's massively going to help our chances as well, because we've got a manager that understands the assignment. He's not going to try and play attacking football. He's going to be conservative. He's going to try and play counter-attacking football and catch teams out. And I think that that is a really good setup as a newly promoted team trying to survive in the Premier League the next season. And yeah, I really do think that Sunderland have a great shot of staying up next season as long as the club go and sign another centre-back and maybe another striker. I think personally that would be a dream window. And I think that Sunderland already have a lot of quality, almost enough to stay up in the Premier League next season, if not enough already, with Granit Xhaka being added to the squad. The goalkeeper side of things is now done. I think that was a big area. I still, as I said, I think we need a centre-half and a striker. But you know what? I'm also going to give a ballsy prediction in this video. I'm going to predict that Sunderland finish 12th next season. It's a little bit of an early prediction. Obviously, there's still signings to be made. And obviously, I understand that there is a massive, massive amount of quality in the Premier League. And I think we do well to just survive comfortably, right? But I just don't know. I feel like there are a few teams which are being poached by the bigger clubs this season in the bottom end of the Premier League. There's a lot of quality which is being lost from teams like Brentford, like Wolverhampton, like Bournemouth, although I think Bournemouth still have a good chance of being all right because they've got Areola. But I think that there's a lot of these bottom side teams that are getting poached by the big clubs from their talented players. And with Sunderland adding so much quality and having a manager which I do think is going to really suit the Premier League, I think that Sunderland could do something next season. I really do. And obviously, 12th is a massive ask. I would be delighted with 12th. I would be delighted with finishing 17th, 1 point above the drop. But the thing is, I do feel comfortable and I do feel confident that Sunderland will not just be another one of the 3 teams that get promoted and they go straight back down without a fight. Like we've seen in the last couple of seasons, the relegation battle is done before the end of the season, quite comfortably before the end of the season, and no one talks about it. I personally think Sunderland are going to make a fist of it, and yeah, I'm going to predict Sunderland to finish 12th. There's obviously signings that are still going to be coming, but let me know, hit me in the comments, where do you think that Sunderland will finish next season? What do you think of Sunderland's transfer window so far? I want to hear everyone's comments, and for those of you who are very confused at why I am saying we to Sunderland, I am a Sunderland and a Manchester City supporter. There is reason behind it. Yes, I support 2 teams in the same league. People don't like it, but get on with it. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel as well if you do enjoy the content. I got big plans for the YouTube channel. I want to continue to push content as much as possible. I'm also listening for upgrades in the comments. If anyone has any ideas on things maybe I should do, types of content I could make, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.